two of your colleagues in the state legislature, and I just happened to read this article. I was going by it. Two Pennsylvania lawmakers proposed a bill that would remove sex from birth certificates. Benjamin Sanchez was one of the guys, and Joe Webster was the other one. It's a bill that would remove sex from birth certificates as a way to eliminate another form of discrimination when there is an error in the category, according to the bill. Am I reading this wrong? Is there a need for this or not? What are your thoughts on that? I don't know if you've come across that yet or not.
I had not heard that one. Sadly, there's almost nothing that surprises me from the Democrat side these days. You think they would have got the message with the election results in November that people are sick of this nonsense. On the one hand, it would be almost laughable if it weren't so serious. And I don't know how much we want to go into it, but I'm going to say this, that I speak, as you can imagine, to a lot of conservative audiences and others, of course. But I always, when the subject comes up, I say, listen, these children are not the enemy.
Right.
These are children that are struggling, that need to be loved unconditionally and protected. They are God's beautiful creations. They are not the enemy.
Right.
But these people talking about convincing these, from therapies to hormone treatments to irreversible surgeries on minor children, it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy. We need to start calling this out for what it is, and it's child abuse is what it is.
No, I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree with you. This is beyond a political disagreement. That's probably not what we were going to talk about today. But I will tell you, we got to call it out for what it is. It's pure evil. It's child abuse, and it needs to come to an end. I understand. I understand there are exceptions to the rule, and there are things that happen at birth where there are, it's a question about what gender. And I've seen that happen. I've heard of people that it happened to. Now, according to the lawmakers here, in this particular case, the bureaucratic roadblocks make the process of changing categories like sex on birth certificates. They say the legislation intends to remove such roadblocks by removing the category as a whole. Listen, the idea that somehow this is mainstream, that everybody's going to be thinking about, well, am I male or female along the way? Whatever happened to parenting, whatever happened to reinforcement of that kind of parenting in society, and whatever happened to the idea that we were made male or female for the most part, with very few exceptions, and let's let it go at that. I mean, this whole idea of that we're going to, fool around with this stuff, as you said, some of this kind of stuff that's being done to kids, I think is almost not even short of just being child abuse. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. But and I do just quickly want to clarify, because it bears repeating. First of all, what you said, there are, very rare, and from what I gather, I've never dealt with it firsthand, but I remember seeing a documentary on it a number of years ago. It is tragic and heartbreaking when you have, there's some kids that are born with kind of both parts. Or,
yes.
There's a term, and I apologize, it's escaping me. But a lot of this other stuff, we're taking healthy, normal children. Just let them be kids. The human brain doesn't even fully develop until 26. So why in the world would we be talking about something as serious as either setting kids on a path, or in some states, and there's people in Pennsylvania that would have it that way, as I said earlier, irreversible treatment, hormone treatments, puberty blockers and so forth, and even surgeries on minor children. I'm 55. You're a little older than I am, I think. I don't know a single person, and I know a lot of people, I don't know a single person that wishes they would have had a sex change when they were a minor child. Yet, it's almost becoming commonplace now, and it's because it's, in most cases, a self-fulfilling prophecy of parents or others encouraging a lot of this stuff. And again, we need to protect these children. We need to love them unconditionally. I don't want to see them bullied or anything like that. But we also need to give them a little space and a little time. And 99% of the time, they grow out of this stuff and they find their way and figure it out. It's pure evil, like I said.
Yep. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about the agenda coming up here for this session. Obviously, we're into the new year. And what are some of the things that are first and foremost that are happening? Because people here in New York are obviously thinking about what are the things that are going to affect us. Governor's coming up with a new budget proposal. We know what that always looks like, and wanted to get your take on all that.
Yeah, so real quick, I had a few talking points for you here. And the thing that I sort of started sharing with people 5 years ago, and I keep trying to beat this drum, is our state is growing older, smaller, and poorer by the day. The only demographic that's growing in Pennsylvania is the over 65 group, and it might even be over 80. I love seniors, but you cannot run a state with retirees. My friend Joe Diorsi, you know Joe Diorsi,
right.
Representative Diorsi, he just sent me we did an article on this. He's a little better writer than I am, but if you combine his writing skills and expertise with my business history. Anyway, the U-Haul company, we all know, just put out their data on states that had net gain and net loss in population. As I said, we're getting smaller, older, and poorer. Pennsylvania is 46th. The only states that had less moving out, as you can imagine, or had more moving out of the state: New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and California. It's a direct result. We should be an economic powerhouse. It's a direct result of the governors and other longstanding policy. Our tax policy is bad at best, and our regulatory environment is absolutely terrible. The Department of DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, is killing our economy. They're sucking money out of our state every day because they are so unreasonable and over the top. Everything from our farmers to investors that would love to build factories and so forth here and bring in jobs. They're just sick of dealing with all the regulations, and they're moving to places like Tennessee and North Carolina. So the governor talks about that he's competitive as hell, pardon my French, but that's the phrase he uses over and over.
Right.
He's done nothing to date in his tenure to make the state more competitive other than an ongoing 0.5% reduction in corporate net income tax each year. And that preceded him before he came into office, but we got that done. So that's kind of a recurring thing. That's about the only thing we've done. We need to rein in DEP and PennDOT in particular. We're also a very litigious state, and we're so business unfriendly that these companies have other options. They leave, they take all of that wealth with them, and every time somebody comes in to talk to me, it's usually to ask for funding in the budget. Very worthy causes where we need to pay healthcare workers more, especially like nursing homes and in-home care, research on Alzheimer's. I mean, I can give you a whole laundry list. And the reason we don't have the money to do it is tied directly to our absolutely terrible economic environment here.
Yeah, so the regulatory part is a concern to you. What else is going on? I'm going to hold for another segment here with you. Can you stick around for just another segment?
Certainly.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come right back. We'll pick up on that because I want to get some more of what's going on in the state, because these are things that affect you right here in York County. Those of you listening to us right now directly. And Mike's going to come back with that more on that just after this. Mike Jones, who is our state representative here in the 93rd Legislative District, with more right after this on the Gary Sutton Show, where it is 7:48.